Why do I choose to give to the DAR? I choose to give because Constitution Hall will always hold a special place in my heart. When you enter Constitution Hall, you feel the love and the passion that has just been poured into this building. I have so many memories of attending Continental Congress over the years with my grandmother, my mother, my sister, and my aunt. There's a chair in Constitution Hall in memory of my great-grandmother, and one recently purchased to honor my grandmother. Giving to the DAR means preserving our heritage, our legacy, our home for future generations, just as it was so lovingly preserved for us. Because when we work together, all donations, no matter how large or small, make a difference.
Good evening and welcome to our celebration of DAR Philanthropy. What a wonderful reminder of where our DAR mission starts. This is the reason we celebrate you tonight. I am so pleased to introduce our President General, Denise Doring Van Buren.
Thank you, Pam, and good evening to everyone joining us. Welcome to this exciting virtual 129th Continental Congress Donor Recognition event. We're making history, and I'm so glad you're a part of it wherever you are. I'm so grateful that you joined us tonight, but much more so for the financial and enthusiastic support you provide to our vibrant organization all year through. You fill me with hope and joy. I certainly know that times are difficult for so many of us, and I appreciate that you've chosen to invest in our society and our future, and I sincerely thank you. This evening, you will hear about just some of the projects ongoing at our House Beautiful, all of them being completed because of you. Every dollar that you donate furthers our work in support of historic preservation, education, and patriotism, as well as the upkeep of our buildings. Your commitment, no matter the size, shines for all to see, and we are all so grateful. In addition to your support of the General Fund, which makes possible so many of our improvements and much of our day-to-day progress, you donated more than $3.5 million to the President General's project in the first year of our administration. That speaks volumes about the way you have recognized this opportunity to leave our legacy through the largest restoration ever undertaken by our society. Thank you. It is a fact of which we should all be proud. Since our 1890 founding, all of our important projects have been successfully completed through the contributions of donors just like you and me. Memorial Continental Hall, DAR Constitution Hall, the buildings we know and love so well were built and have been maintained by donors just like us. This is our home, and we have been faithful stewards of it since the first construction began back in 1905. I'm proud of what they accomplished in those early years, and I'm equally proud of what we continue to do. Here are just a few important numbers to give you an appreciation for the generous company you keep. We're truly blessed to count nearly 18,000 active Heritage Club members who contribute year after year, making possible many of our DAR national programs. Every year, our 1890 annual Giving Circle donors keep our society shining by contributing to our general fund. 2019 was no exception, with 1,305 members, the highest membership in the history of the program. More than 800 members of the Founders Club have provided a gift from their estate to ensure DAR's work into the future. That's the highest number of active Founders Club members in almost a decade. An important part of our success has been the participation of 7,800 sustaining supporters, who together contribute an astounding $2 million in contributions annually. In addition, nearly 5,000 individuals find other ways to contribute throughout the year to support our important work. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know that you will enjoy this evening's celebration of the donors who make a difference to DAR, so let us, ladies, get the party started.
Thank you so much, Madam President General. Mrs. Van Buren has inspired all of us to take on the mantle of service and rise and shine for America. And each of you have done exactly that. We are here to support your commitment. Please join me in recognizing Executive Liaison Catherine Walker-West, Corresponding Secretary General, and our hardworking National Vice Chairs, Amanda Lazarus, Lisa Milan, Georgianne Brockstein, Susan Hazelden Barr, Lisa Hefner, Ashley Nauman, Katie Orenshaw, Joyce Patton, Debbie Carroll, Terry Fisher, Kendra Greenwaters, Cindy Mangum, Rebecca Rogers, Jeannie McMillan, and Carolyn Foxwell. Thank you, ladies. Tonight we are going to celebrate all of our donors, more than 25,000 individuals who make DAR a priority in their annual and ongoing philanthropy. So let's get started.
My name is Lisa Milan, and I am National Vice Chair of Development, in charge of the various philanthropical events that occur at Continental Congress. Events such as the Heritage Club Breakfast or the Founders Club Dinner. Had we been there, I would have been greeting you in person, but now I'm greeting you virtually. Welcome. And now let's begin with what begins so many wonderful events, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there, was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of America the brave?
The singing group you just heard from are named the Hep Kittens, and they are a women's barbershop quartet, and you will hear from them a little later on. We so appreciate our generous donors, and quite frankly, we couldn't do anything without you. And now I want to give you just a little sneak peek of Continental Congress for next year and show you my squirrel army. These fuzzy fellows are being packed away shortly, but that's something to look forward to next year.
I'm Georgie Brockstein. We are so lucky to have the blood of patriots running through our veins. My late husband was a first-generation American, and after he watched today's DAR with me, he turned to me and he said, "We need to have DAR in your estate plan." And I do. I give because now more than ever, I think it's vitally important to do what I can to help preserve our history and educate our children. I give because I believe that our building and our mission should endure, and I give because it makes me feel good.
My portions of this afternoon's donor celebration were filmed here in our beautiful President General's reception room at our national headquarters. And behind me, you will see the portrait of our very first President General, Caroline Scott Harrison. I have often thought that she is looking out, looking forward to our horizon, and how proud she must be of the women of today who carry forward our important mission. You know, Mrs. Harrison and those other women who were the founders of our society, and all of those women who have sustained our society since, they were not only patriotic, but they were also bold. They thought carefully and they planned strategically for our future. And if you are one of the more than 800 Founders Club members, or you've put DAR in your will but haven't even yet notified us, you too are helping to prepare for our future. Your contribution will make a meaningful difference long after we have passed, because it helps to ensure that the National Society of the DAR will continue to promote its mission of historic preservation, education, and patriotism, all, of course, to honor the memory of our patriot ancestors. Bequests have a significant impact on our preservation work here at DAR headquarters, including our President General's project, as well as so many programs of our organization. To all who have provided for NSDAR and your estate plans, a simple, sincere, and heartfelt thank you. for helping ensure that our future will indeed be a bright one.
Hi, my name is Corey Martin, and I am a Founders Club member and a sustaining supporter. The reason that I give to DAR is because I believe in the perpetuity of our organization, and I want to ensure that its financial needs are met so that it can be around for my future granddaughters to enjoy. By utilizing company matching, I am able to stretch my dollar even further and support more funds and opportunities. People are the most important thing in life, so giving allows me to help beyond the constraints of my location and spread some sunshine to all of our daughters.
Good evening. I'm Jeannie McMillan, National Vice Chair of Development, and I also have watch over the Daughters Tribute. Tonight, I would like to get personal about the Daughters Tribute because that's what it is. It's personal. It is a place that sustains legacies. It is a place where you go to visit to be inspired. It is a place where you put special stories and special pictures that inspired you. Daughters that were special to you, that were mentors to you, that are relatives of yours. There are so many pictures and so many stories, and I have favorites. I have lots and lots of favorites. This one I want to share with you, and her picture is the one that popped out at me because it speaks 1,000 words, and it's pure DAR. This is about Dorothy Irene Garvin, and it was given to the Daughters Tribute by her chapter. And Dorothy is being honored and paid tribute to. She was born in 1927 and passed in 2017. She came to DAR later in life, and she grew up in Minnesota, but she worked in Los Angeles, Saudi Arabia, New York, and then back again in Los Angeles, where she joined DAR in 1999. And she immediately became chapter treasurer at 72. And that's an inspiration. And she held that position until she became extremely ill. She loved genealogy, and she was very active in other organizations. And this is the kind of tributes that you will read on the Daughters Tribute. These are the kind of messages that you can leave, and stories and inspirations. I invite you to please come visit the Daughters Tribute. Thank you.
I had the privilege of serving in the administration of Lynn Forney Young, and during that time, of course, our National Society celebrated our 125th anniversary. It was a marvelous time to be a daughter. I guess any time, frankly, is a marvelous time to be a daughter of the American Revolution. But we were looking for ways that we could somehow recognize the women who had had the vision, but who had also sustained our National Society, paying their dues in good times and in bad, attracting other women, even when it wasn't necessarily so easy to do so. And so we hit upon this idea that we would build a memorial tribute here in the Memorial Garden to our members, honoring at that time the nearly 1 million members who had joined the Daughters of the American Revolution. As an outgrowth of that, we wanted to ensure that the legacy of these women would continue in a more lasting way, and so we developed the concept of the Daughters Tribute. And what it is essentially is an opportunity with very modest sponsorship levels of $25 or $50 or $100 to be able to recognize women who have had a meaningful impact on our own DAR lives. I believe that mine was probably one of the very first Daughters Tributes that was erected onto the site. I had an opportunity to honor my mother, who is a member of the General Peter Gansvoort chapter in Albany, New York. She joined the DAR, and I followed on a short form, and I'm obviously so very happy that I did. But I know that I am not an individual for whom that is unique. Everywhere I go in the Daughters of the American Revolution, I speak with women who are engaged and passionate about their work, and oftentimes that excitement comes from having had a sister, a mother, a grandmother, an aunt who was in the Daughters of the American Revolution and inspired them to pick up the mission of our National Society and to carry it forward into the future. So this Daughters Tribute provides you this opportunity to honor these women who have had a meaningful impact in your lives. Now, not all of those women are necessarily related to you. Perhaps there are women who asked you to join. Perhaps there are women who offered to drive you to your first meeting or helped you with your application. Maybe there are friends whom you see each year at Continental Congress when we're able to gather in person. And this is an opportunity for you to recognize what they bring to our national society. I found it as a compelling way to honor the woman who founded my own DAR chapter in Beacon, New York in 1896, Catherine Walcott Verplanck. And so however you find a way to honor daughters who've had a significant impact on you or your chapter, the Daughters Tribute affords you an opportunity to do it.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Van Buren, for sharing the Daughters Tribute with us tonight. We greatly appreciate your vision of the Daughters Tribute and what it will do to sustain our legacy.
This is Michelle Wary, a New York daughter. I love DAR. I have been extended the hand of friendship by such extraordinary women that I am delighted to call friends. Because I have a sense of belonging, I want to see DAR thrive into the future so that my daughters, who are daughters, and my granddaughter can enjoy Constitution Hall, the library, the museum, all these wonderful spaces that welcome us back each year. I know my donations go toward preserving spaces of joy and laughter. Through the years, I have honored my mother with books, placed her name on a virtual donor wall, and in short, I have given her memory to DAR. This year, I didn't hesitate to purchase seats for the Next Act campaign, one for myself and one for my sister Olivia, who died last June. I will always have the best memories of us sitting together at Congress. I had to laugh at myself because I picked the emerald ribbon this year for the photo booth when I just made pearl. I told Adriana I will work toward that level. If you're part of something and believe in it, you'll preserve it.
Another major element of our 125th anniversary celebration was our decision to establish the Guardian Trust campaign for the strategic long-term best interest of our national society. And so it became only natural that the Daughters Tribute would be a part of the Guardian Trust campaign. I am pleased to share with you that since its inception in 2015, more than $60,000 has been raised for the Guardian Trust campaign as a result of sponsorships within the Daughters Tribute. That may not seem like an enormous amount of money, but to me, when I think about the fact that it came in $25 increments and $50 increments, honoring the women who've sustained our society, those are some of the most meaningful expressions of love of our society that I can imagine. So I'm grateful to all of you who have supported the Daughters Tribute, and of course to everyone who continues to sustain us through all of our various giving opportunities here at the national headquarters.
To giving to the President General's Project, I choose to give to the Guardian Trust because it is a program that has the future of DAR in mind. Historic preservation, education, and patriotism are part of the mission of DAR, and in supporting historic preservation, my gifts to the Guardian Trust ensure that the sacrifice of our Revolutionary War patriots is honored and protected in years to come.
Why do I give to DAR? Well, several years ago, past Reporter General Mindy Kammeier took me to visit the DAR schools. Our first stop was Tomasi, and it was during Founders Day. As I sat in the audience, I heard it announced from the stage that a Washington daughter by the name of Ella Mae Grimes had given $55,000 to a boarding scholarship. I knew that this woman had never even visited the schools, but she believed so strongly in education. She inspired me. So when I went home, I started looking into ways that I too could support DAR. I became a sustaining supporter. I supported the Guardian Trust. And now I am so excited about the Next Act. That is something that I have already supported and will continue to do so. And the bottom line is that I hope that I will inspire other daughters to think of ways that they too can give to our beloved society.
Well, it's really a thrill for me now to be able to take you behind the scenes. In my search for silver linings of the pandemic, I will say that our ability to get a jump start on construction here at DAR Constitution Hall was one of the very few. But by starting sooner than planned, we hope to be able to reopen the hall earlier in order to accommodate events that were postponed from the spring. So how is it possible that we could get that early start? 3 simple letters, YOU. You are one of 20,000 donors who have already made donations to our project, providing the strong start we needed to kick off this more than $10 million historic renovation. I'd like to especially thank the President General Project benefactors and patriots, whom we will formally recognize tomorrow during the Saturday afternoon business session. These donors contributed $1,250 and $2,500, respectively, to together raise nearly $750,000. In all, we have together thus far raised more than $3.5 million. So please give yourselves a well-deserved round of applause. So take a good look around. The seats have been removed. The boxes are being prepped for restoration. Structural issues are being addressed, and we are very much under construction. Yet there is so much more left to do. Now, like all of you, I recognize that the past several months have been a difficult time for so many individuals, families, businesses, nonprofits. Everyone, it seems, has felt the effects of our national situation. But I must hope that we can all take a moment to consider the important work that remains to be done at 1776 D Street in order to restore our society's monument to the United States Constitution. I respectfully ask you to consider how you might have supported the President General's project if you had traveled to Washington, D.C. this year, or perhaps you had plans to come and you might now be able to consider the potential of devoting some of your travel budget to our cause. If you are able to make or even increase your contribution, please text Selling Sunshine to 41444. Every donor, every dollar, every show of support helps.
My name is Phyllis Murphy, and I've been a member of DAR since 1991. Throughout my career at West Point Military Academy, I worked with cadets and officers. My work with West Point Admissions Office, where I help high school students prepare for admission to West Point, inspired me to be a DAR member. DAR, with its focus on patriotism, was a natural love for me, followed by its focus on education. My work with DAR schools was very fulfilling, and my love on history introduced me to our President General over 20 years ago, when we worked on the dedication of Fort Montgomery battlefield together. My love for DAR, our projects and service, our members, our beautiful national headquarters, and my absolutely outstanding President General inspired my donation.
You would think that by now I might have learned a few lessons, like to never underestimate the power of the daughters, nor their generosity. I am just so thrilled to tell you that due to the hard work and the persuasiveness of 100 volunteers, we have already surpassed our goal this Congress of raising $60,000, enough funding to support the restoration of 2 ley lights in our historic ley light above DAR Constitution Hall. We've now raised our goal to $90,000 as we make an effort to raise enough funding to be able to cover the expense of 3 ley lights in that majestic ceiling, where we hope to once again replicate what John Russell Pope envisioned as daytime lectures in bright sunlight and evening concerts under the stars. So thank you, ladies, for your support. $90,000 is aggressive to do during the course of one Continental Congress, but I'm learning my lessons quickly, because now I can ask you, can we do it? And I believe you know the answer. Yes, we can. Thanks for whatever you might be able to do. All you need to do is visit dar.org/Selling Sunshine, or even just text Selling Sunshine to 41444 to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Hello, I am Bonnie Henn, and I am proud to be a sustaining supporter. I believe that membership in DAR is about stewardship. We are all stewards of our family history and our patriot ancestors' history. Through contributions to the Sustaining Supporter Program, I know that my contributions to DAR will make a lasting impact on future generations to come, and that my daughter and her children and theirs may enjoy the same benefits that I enjoy today as a member in today's DAR.
Earlier this evening, you heard Mrs. Van Buren talk about the more than 20,000 donors who contribute each year to advance the mission of DAR. We also heard from the donors themselves who shared their personal stories of philanthropy, undoubtedly similar to your personal stories, with the hopes that thanks to the difference that you make through your contributions, DAR will continue to tell our Patriots' stories for generations to come.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight and giving us an opportunity to recognize your generosity. The work of DAR and the preservation of our House Beautiful is all made possible because of you. We look forward to seeing you in person next year at the 130th Continental Congress.
Your act, our gratitude.
I'm Brooke Stewart, and I'm a sustaining supporter. And I give to DAR because I cannot imagine a future without DAR, without what DAR represents. And honestly, as daughters, could any of us imagine that? Without the buildings, without the DAR museum, or even, can you imagine, without the DAR library? Who will tell the story of our ancestors and our patriots? These ancestors are not just some facts in a history book. These are ours. And the passion with which we tell these stories and will continue to do so through DAR, it means so much. And so I give so that we don't have to worry about any of these things. And I hope that in some small way, my donation, along with many others, can help DAR continue in the future for generations to come. That would be exciting.
Thank you so much for being here with us. I also, of course, want to express my appreciation to Pam Alvick and to all the members of the Development Committee, to Sandy Pollock and her staff for all that they do for us. And I certainly want you to know how grateful I am that you took time from a busy life to join us for our first virtual donor event. I probably don't have to tell you that we are members of a lineal organization based on a shared heritage. It's so important that DAR remains strong and sustained in order to continue to tell the stories of our patriots. I hope that you will agree that our enduring mission of service has never been more important since our 1890 founding. And in closing, I ask you, our most generous donors, to please join with me to rise and shine for America and for DAR.